Hey guys, George at SoundTraxx here, and this week we're going to talk about the injector and one of the many ways that you can control the injector and ways that SoundTraxx Tsunami 2 can help you more accurately represent the work that the real locomotives are doing. So first off, let's just talk about what the injector is. Now the injector on this model is an appliance that sits right here below the cab, and what it does is it takes steam pressure and mixes it with the water coming from the tender, and it pressurizes it. Now that pressurized water is then shot through the pipe all the way up here and into the front of the boiler into the check valve. Now the check valve makes sure that the boiler pressure can't come back in down the pipe, but we have to pressurize that water because of course the boiler is pressurized. So that's what we're doing. Now we have to inject it as far away from the firebox as we can, because as the water moves through the boiler, the water gets warmer and warmer and hotter and hotter. And if we inject it right here on top of the firebox, you can cause problems with the locomotive. And so the injector then will take the water and mix it and shoot it as far away. So as the water cycles through the boiler, it gets warmer as it gets closer to the firebox, turns into steam, collects in the steam dome, and then is shot into the cylinders. Now next up is, how do we control the injector? And there's actually a couple of different ways. One is to let the sounds happen automatically as the locomotive is idling, or you can control it manually with a function button. So let's start with that first. So function 20 will actually enable the injector sound. So on this particular locomotive, and we're going to talk about this next, we have a non-lifting type injector. So we turn on function 20. And now you'll hear the injector sound kick on as it's working to fill the boiler. Now when we turn the function 20 off, you hear the injector close. Now the other thing is that you can allow this to happen automatically as one of Fireman Fred's tasks that he works on behind the scenes. Now this is done automatically after the locomotive is sitting for X number of seconds, but you can determine the probability to how frequently you're going to hear that injector through CV206. 0 to 255 is the probability, 0 meaning it never happens, 255 means it's a pretty good chance that it's going to happen. Now next up we have a couple of factors. Number one is to select the type of injector that's being used on our locomotive. As I mentioned, this is a non-lifting type injector. What that means is the injector sits below the water line on the tender, and the tender water then pours into the injector where it's then mixed with steam and pressurized. Now a lifting type injector would actually sit up here on the side of the boiler where the water would be sucked up like a straw and then mixed with the steam pressure and pressurized and then forced into the check valve. Now you can select the type of injector that's being used in CV112 bit number 2. When the bit is off, you're selecting the non-lifting injector like we just heard. When you enable the bit, it will then trigger the lifting type injector. Now, a couple of different ways that you can control the injector. Number one is the volume, and the volume is set in CV147. Again, 0 to 255. The default value is 65. Now, for this demonstration, I've turned it way up, so it's very, very loud. The other one is the function mapping. By default, the function is controlled by function 20. Now you can reset that in CV1.315. And for more information on function mapping, see our YouTube video on function mapping linked below. Now this is some of the many ways that SoundTraxx has been able to deliver a very realistic decoder to help you more accurately control your locomotives with your decoder. So for more information, please visit our website at SoundTraxx.com and visit our website and check out the user's guide for more detailed instructions.